And as we wait for the president to speak any moment in Las Vegas, he could address all this. So let's bring in Cabot Phillips, media director of campusreform.org and radio talk show host and liberal commentator Ben Kissel. Cabot, let me start with you. Do you think Barr is spinning it? And how will he defend himself? Because he's going to testify on Tuesday.
Yeah, it is interesting to see how for the past 2 or 3 decades, Attorney General Barr has been viewed as an upstanding man with trustful, respectful, and someone that you can believe in. And now all of a sudden that he's working in the Trump administration, people are now questioning his integrity, saying, well, of course he's going to spin this. It's interesting to see political processes at play. Of course, in a report with this much information, with this much time that went into it, there are going to be things that are confidential. There are complications with grand jury information in there that just can't be released. You can't go around saying that we need to change legal precedent just because now we don't trust the institutions, we don't trust the people in power. You cannot release all confidential information instantly. Obviously, I think it's a good thing for the American people to get as much information as possible. I hope that we're able to get as much info out to the public so people can finally see for themselves that there was not collusion between the president and foreign agencies. But it's been shocking to see how many people have come out now and been upset that there was not collusion. They are upset that the president of the United States was in fact duly elected. And I think that shows just how much partisanship has played into this. But ultimately, I hope we're able to get as much information out there as possible. But there is a lot of legal precedent we're going to have to deal with that you can't necessarily flip on its head because you don't like the outcome of the investigation.
Yeah, Ben, do you think we're going to get a clean bill of health and people will be satisfied, or there'll be more questions?
Well, I don't understand how this is even controversial, whether you're right or on the left. Everyone should have the right to see this document, the Mueller report that has been obsessed over for the past 2 years. I don't understand why someone like a supposed libertarian like Rand Paul has said, no, we don't want to show this report to the American people. We have a right to know. And regarding William Barr, why is he so controversial? Well, let's not forget, he was part of the cover-up of the Iran-Contra scandal. He was the cover-up king for George H.W. Bush. And let's not forget the 4-page memo he sent unsolicited, citing that a president cannot be indicted.
Do you think he really would put the fix in? I mean,
well, I think that he certainly has a political motivation to protect Donald Trump. And again, I don't understand how this is remotely close to controversial. Show us the report. We're adults. We can handle it. And this country has to. We're not going to move on unless we see this thing. And if Donald Trump is so sure that it's a hoax and a witch hunt, and he's been seeing that there's no collusion, it's been proven there's no collusion, what's the problem? Release it.
Cabot, you're shaking your head.
Yeah, there have to be certain things that our government is able to keep confidential. And of course, every American should have the opportunity to read through the vast majority of the contents. But again, you cannot undo and overturn legal precedent just because you say, well, we deserve to see what's in it. There are certain things the government has to keep confidential for national security reasons. And of course, we should be able to see the majority of the contents and be able to trust our institutions. But I do think that this is politically motivated, where the Democrats are never going to be satisfied. They're always going to say there's one more thing that could possibly be proving collusion here. And so I think this is going to keep going on. You're never going to satisfy these people. This really is a witch hunt in so many different ways.
Wouldn't that argue to let it all out? Wouldn't that be the argument to just try to let it all out, Cabot?
Exactly. That is the only thing that is giving the Democrats a talking point right now, is the fact that the Republicans are keeping this under lock and seal. The fact that the Republicans have blocked it 5 times. House Democrats, they want to look at the House Democrats. They want to look at it. Republicans are saying, no, what do you have to hide? I mean, come on, people. This is supposed to be an administration of transparency. And the only thing that's transparent is that Donald Trump is absolutely horrified of what's apparently in this Mueller report and trying to keep it secret.
And then again, this is the Wall Street Journal editorial about this. Let me read part of that, saying, quote, Mr. Barr should release as much of the report as possible, and on close calls, he should side with public disclosure. But no one should think the Democrats are really worried about a cover-up. They want to see an unredacted version before the public does, so they can leak selected bits that allow them to use friendly media outlets to claim there really was collusion or to tarnish Trump officials. I mean, Cabot, wouldn't letting it all out, even with the 6E grand jury rules, wouldn't that put that to rest?
Yeah. Again, I think more information is obviously a good thing, and we don't know exactly what's in the report. So I think the American people, again, I agree with much of what was said in that editorial. The American people do have a right to know certain things, though there are lines on what is confidential and what's not. But again, I do think that the left will not be satisfied. And for people saying, why does President Trump keep talking about this? Why does he keep bringing this conversation into the forefront of the national media? If someone accused you of treason for the past 2 years, I think you would want to take a little bit of a victory lap
last word,
there.
10 seconds.
Again,
will the left be satisfied?
Republican Party doesn't have a leg to stand on here, really, given the 4-year Benghazi investigation that spent millions and millions of dollars. That went absolutely nowhere. At least here we have the Mueller report.
All right, that'll be the last word for now as we await the report in a few weeks, hopefully. Thank you, gentlemen. Marthel?
And we are going to be